Hi, we are all here on a different journey, and we all have different lessons to learn on our journey. Now, what this topic is titled is Who Are You Allowing into Your Space? And allowing is the key word here because a lot of times people will interfere in our lives, and when they do that, you're allowing them into your space, your business. And basically, what I've learned on my journey is that because we have all learned different lessons along the way, when we make a suggestion to someone else, is that interfering in their space? And the short answer is no. But if what happens is you make the recommendation and then it's your friend or family, it's their choice on whether they take that recommendation, that suggestion, and they use it. And so if even though you know that your recommendation is going to help them, you can't pressure them on it. You have to step back and allow them their space. It's their business. It's their journey. And that is actually one of the hardest things to do. But like last week, I talked about different potentials. So you suggest to somebody something that you know is going to help them, and then you leave it because now it's up to them on whether they take you up on it. And it is a different potential for every choice that they make. It's a different potential with every choice you make. And so to continue bugging them about it, you're actually getting on their case. And that is pushy, and that's actually interfering in their space because that's their business. Now, a little exercise that I read recently and I thought was pretty cool is to visualize seeing yourself standing in the middle of a room. So you're just in a big empty room. So standing there in the middle of the room and visualize drawing a circle around where you're standing. And then be aware of that is your space. That is what you're in charge with. And so now see someone come into the room and they're staying at a distance. They're just inside the door, and draw a circle around their body. That is their space. So they have their space, their business, and you have yours. And so that's the hardest part, is just to keep in your space and not go anywhere else. In a way, when you start going into the other person's business, their space, you are connecting a cord. So that's when you need to cut the cords again. Because when you have a cord, you're actually attached to them. And so they're giving their energy away, and you're giving them energy back and forth. Cut the cords, see yourself get all that energy back. It's yours. And then see them get their energy back as well. I found it really interesting because, and it is an interesting point of view. And like, what if we didn't worry about our neighbors, our kids, our husbands, spouses? What if we just worried about ourselves and took care of ourselves, and everyone else take care of themselves? Now, it's hard because not everybody understands the importance of this. There's a lot of people out there that expect you to take care of them. And there's different lessons that come up when you're around people. And, say someone gets you upset, they get that energy up. Now, one of the things I've always shared that is, if someone makes you angry, the anger was already in your body to begin with. So, but there are times where it brings up things like you're frustrated all the time. You don't like them doing that. They should do this and they should do that. That's when The work of Byron Katie comes to mind. It's actually called The Work. Look it up. It's pretty awesome. And when you study that, the work, what actually happens, or what you're aware of, is what you're upset that someone else is doing is what you do. Now, take for example, I can't stand being interrupted. I just snap when someone interrupts me when I'm trying to, get a word out and someone interrupts me. But I interrupt all the time. And so when you're aware of the fact, so I'll use my husband as an example. My husband interrupts me. I can't stand that, and I get really upset with him. Now turn that around, and I am the one that interrupts people, and I should stop interrupting people. So you see, it's always backwards. It's always inside of you. So it's pretty cool when you start thinking of it in that way. And it's pretty scary too, because when you're observing that, you get to know yourself a little bit better. And but it's strange when you're thinking of your space. So when you're aware of your space and what's going on, what's coming up, then you deal with it. You don't need any help outside of you. You don't need anyone interfering. This is your lesson. This is something you need to learn. So you bring it up, and you can ask for help from the beings of light. You can just say, help me to clear this. And it's pretty simple. Now, when someone does interfere in your space and you're having that confrontation, you gently say, no, I will not have any of this. You can say it to yourself, you can say it out loud, but you do not want to be any part of that. That is not your business, and it's not their business to be in your space. Cut your cords, and then protect yourself, the beings of light, and ask them to clear the energy of it. Now, last week, every week actually, I ask you to put your left hand on your heart. And the reason why I do that is your heart remembers the language. And I call it light language. Sometimes I call it soul language. And I'm tending to really like soul language because it is the language that our soul remembers. When you put your left hand on your heart, it almost like it activates your heart. It wakes up your heart. It's your heart is going to pay attention. When you close your eyes, you're closing your eyes to this illusion that we're living, this, life, and it cuts off any kind of judgment and whatnot, and you go into your heart. So knowing that, put your left hand on your heart, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and let's see what kind of soul language is going to come out for our activation today. All right, keep breathing deeply. Akanini kile da manako akidit kile da shanana ko anako shot kola da katati kile da kananaka. Anakola da manakasati kile da shanana kola anaki inan kola shanana ayarko. Apakid kisiti kila da kola da kananaka aina kila da shanana koto kola da katadake. Kidi kila da kashanana kola da manaka akidi sidi kila da shanana ko mola da ketir kila da kata. Akila da shanana ko anana kasata kiti kila da katatokola da shanana ayakta katataka. I'm a kid kila da kishanana makola da kasana da katako ola da kashanana ayada katatako. Akatakulishan katataka alamaki satakila shanana kolarana katakila shatakotoko. Take a deep breath. Well, this language never fails to amaze me. Honestly, last week I mentioned my friend who understands the language in English, or he hears it in English, and he sent me via Messenger a translation for last week's video. So I encourage you to go back and see that one. fantastic. And I put it in the comments. I just copied and pasted it into the comments. Really cool. So hopefully he'll be giving us another translation, because I get pictures and I know that clearing and the symbols that I do, and eventually I'm sure I'll be gifted with the complete knowledge. But right now, just the words and the codes. All right. So many blessings. Have a wonderful week.